Before we start, I want to say this. If you're a beauty professional or service-based business owner who's doing all the right things, but still feels like your income depends on how much you physically show up and how many hours you can squeeze into your schedule, I built my new program for you. Limitless is for the woman who wants to earn more without adding more hours, who needs clearer strategy and the energy and identity shifts that actually move the needle in your business. It is a space where you're not doing this alone and where you can ask me questions anytime. I work super closely with you inside this container alongside a like-minded community of business owners who are serious about their growth as well, but also about life. So if you're ready to grow and want support doing it properly, book a call with me. The link is in the show notes for you. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello my loves and welcome back to another episode. Today's episode is slightly different. I have done something I've never done before, and I have actually taken a recording of one of my interviews that was done over on the Clawgasmic Nail Tech Talks podcast. My gorgeous friend Chantel interviewed me all about motherhood and being in business. This is a conversation that is so important, and I was so honoured that Shan had asked me to do this. If you don't know who Chantel is, and if you're not following Clawgasmic, the details are all in the description. She is a phenomenal nail tech, and she has her own online space for helping nail techs grow their businesses. She has a whole 700 plus nail art tutorials because she is incredible, and she is of course the host of the Nail Tech Talks, the Clawgasmic Nail Tech Talks podcast. So I'm linking everything in the description. She's also a fantastic nail tech educator. Her hard gel course specifically I absolutely love, and if I can get a link in time, that will be in the show notes too. She does a beginner gel course and a builder gel course, and having Chantel in your world is just incredible. She lights everybody up in this industry. I'm so honoured to be able to call her my friend. I'm also so glad that she allowed me to have this podcast recording. We have done a swap, so she has got one of my recordings where I interviewed her on this podcast going out over on her podcast as well. So it is so much fun, and I'm so glad that we get to do this. I really hope that you love this episode. If you do, please take a screenshot and pop it on your stories and tag us both. As I say, the details are in the description. I can't wait for you to listen in, so let's get into it.
Hello beautiful people, welcome to another episode of the Clawgasmic Nail Tech Talks. Today I'm so excited to get this conversation out there into the world. I spoke with my lovely friend Zara. I'm really grateful I get to call her that, because she is someone that I speak to, you know, just personally, on a personal level, about life, about business. She's someone that I trust and I feel really comfortable being really open and honest with, and I think she's amazing. All that she's achieved, all that she continues to do and create comes from such a place of passion and love and wanting to help nail techs. She's an incredible coach, and she really inspires me. She's built all that she's built while raising 3 beautiful babies, and yeah, she's just smashing it. So when I decided I wanted to have a conversation around the juggle of motherhood and business and entrepreneur life, it was a no-brainer. It had to be Zara. She had me on her live on Instagram a few weeks ago, and we had a similar conversation, and I just knew as well that I wanted this conversation over here in this space, because I really do think, as much as I love the shiny of Instagram, social media, there are definitely spaces for these real life conversations. And And yeah, she's just wonderful. If you do not yet know anything about Zara, I'm going to put all the links in the show notes. She's also doing an incredible offer where you can get some free coaching with her. So we're going to talk about this in the episode as well. So stay tuned for that, but I'm going to put all the links down below for that as well. If you are a nail tech and you are still struggling to get clients in your business, remember you can watch our free masterclass. It's absolutely free, and I'll give you tips on creating client attracting content. Thank you so much again for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a screenshot and share it to your stories. It truly helps me. Huge thank you to Zara, huge thank you to Nail Order, and let's get into today's episode. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Clawgasmic Nail Tech Talks. I am beyond happy and excited to have this next conversation with someone that I'm lucky enough to call a friend, the wonderful Zara King. She's an absolute force in the industry, helping nail techs with their business, their pricing, their mindset, but she's also Superwoman. She is a mother, and we've had so many conversations. We went live the other day over on Zara's page, so go and check it out if you haven't yet listened to it on Instagram, speaking about the juggle of mum life and business and entrepreneurness. And I was like, oh my gosh, would you also jump on the pod and have a conversation with me about this too? So people who do not yet know who you are, Zara, just give us a little intro.
So I'm Zara King. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the pod. I absolutely love your podcast and I love you, you know that. So everyone who doesn't know me, I am Zara King. I'm a beauty business coach and I'm a mum of three. So that is what we're here to discuss today, all of that lovely juggle. I've been in the industry now for 14 years. So I started out mobile back in 2011. Is that right? Yes. Then I went into salon for a couple of years and then I went home based and then I went full throttle with that. I did have a sales career alongside that, but trying to cut the long story short. And then, yeah, I went full throttle beauty and then I started coaching people back in 2021. And that has been phenomenal. I love helping everybody in the industry so much. And then I launched the podcast, the Beauty Build podcast in 2023, alongside all the other bits that I do in the industry, like writing or talking or, helping and all of that fun stuff. So that is me.
Amazing. And we love you for it, honestly. The amount of times that I just talk about you, there's probably episodes that you might not have even heard of. I'm like, do you know what, guys? You need to just go and check out Zara King because she's amazing. Because you're just such a positive energy, but also so knowledgeable. And then also what we're going to get into, I just admire you from a personal standpoint as well, because we kind of touched on it a little bit off recording, and I've got some questions here, but I don't think I've ever really spoken so openly about the juggle of motherhood and business or entrepreneurship. And quite frankly, the step into motherhood gave me whiplash. I said it to you off recording, and it really did. I said that to Gemma, like it just was so much more than I ever thought it would be. And I definitely had moments where I was like, wow, I really thought I would handle this a lot better. I thought it would be a lot smoother. And I remember the point, when Kingsley was like 6 months old, and I was thinking, how the heck am I supposed to juggle elements of my pre-motherhood life and this new motherhood section of my life, which I'm so in love with and so passionate about. But equally, I'm so passionate about my business and I'm so passionate about doing things that also fill up my cup outside of being a mother. And how the heck am I supposed to do it all? So that is a great way to, yeah, that's a great way to start actually. So I want to talk about the juggle of mum life and business, but do you truly think that women in 2025 can have it all?
Yeah, there is so much to this. And I just think, first and foremost, I want to say no. I want to say, I don't think that women of this day and age can have it all to the extreme on all aspects, all at the same time. So, by that, what I mean is, I cannot be 100% in every area of my life with a business and with the babies. You just cannot have it all at the same time. I think we can have it all eventually. I think we will have it all eventually. I definitely am getting snippets of it all, and I have been, and I've been an advocate for working mothers for such a long time. I had Aaliyah when I was in salon, and I worked in salon probably
4 nights a week after work and the weekends. And then she came along and my world flipped upside down, like completely flipped because I was in sales full time. And then I had, been in the salon and I had such a client base. I was so busy. And then I had her and I was like, what the frick do I do now? Like, this is crazy. And I was also at the time renovating our first home and living at my in-laws. So it was just an insane time and my whole world flipped upside down. And I think I could digress on that for a long time, but I won't. I just think I have had snippets of having it all. That you could say I had it all. I had a job, I had a business, I had a baby, I had a home improvement thing going on. I had a great self-care routine. I had like the gym. I still had things going on. But none of them were to the extreme of being like the best they could be because you can't have it all at the same time to the top tier. Does that make sense? And I just think also, just to caveat this for everyone listening, I'm talking about the typical woman. I'm not talking about, and I can't wait to get into this on this episode because there's so much to it, but I can't express enough that you're probably comparing yourself, not you personally, Shan, but people listening as well, to the people that you see with like a nanny and a chef and a chauffeur and somebody doing the business with them or 30 staff doing the business with them. That's what we're comparing ourselves to these days. And people out there to say that you can have it all, maybe that's because they've had investment. They've had, they're not the average woman, is what I'm trying to say. So, in a nutshell, I would say no, not all at the same time, because you just can't give everything your all at once. I can't be at every sports day, every school run, every bedtime story while I'm running this business. I can't do that. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it.
I love that. And again, this is why I love you and just your openness and honestness and why I wanted to have this conversation because I think it's so important. And I think
Mm,
maybe a few years ago, maybe it was just my algorithm, the people I was following. There was a lot of people I was following who not right, not wrong, just their opinion at the time. And again, I think, like you said, remembering that, someone online is not you living your life, the same dynamics, the same village, even the same support, the same
mm,
child, the same stage of motherhood. But a lot of people was like, yeah, you can do it all, we can do it all. And then now I think I'm in this nice spot where there are some incredible people who I look up to who are really open and are like, no, I don't think you can't all the time, every day.
mm,
Like it's some days your children are going to need more from you, and that's great to pour into that cup at that time. And other days, your business is going to need more from you, and getting that support around you and pouring into your business is fine as well. So I think it's so
mm,
refreshing and important to have that out there because, yeah, I just totally agree. I think you're so right. It's really, really hard to put that pressure on women to feel like they can have it all the time. It's not realistic.
mm.
And I remember when Kingsley was really young, actually, there was someone and I can't remember who it was, but I remember the quote. And it was like, um, motherhood isn't hard, but doing everything at the same time as
Yeah.
being is hard. And like you say, just even the logistics of running a home, like
Oh,
all of that. And then the business
yeah.
and motherhood is really, really hard to navigate. So I love that. Love that. Um, why do you think we as women put so much pressure on ourselves to have it all, always?
Yeah, there's a lot on this as well. And I think, first and foremost, I think it's the societal stuff.
Mm.
We are bombarded at the minute or in recent times, in the last few centuries, not centuries, what do you call it? Decades. That's what I'm going for. Um, you know, and I have a lot on this. And I will say as well, I live with, just to set the scene for people, I live with my husband, who is a typical hardworking Pakistani man who wants to provide for his family while his wife stays at home.
Mm.
Okay, just to drop that bomb on you all. If you think that I've like, if you think I come from a background or got a family that's like, yay, go out and do business, it's not that case for me. My husband wants me to stay at home. So just so you know. And I think it's like we have these cultural, societal like clashes of in this day and age in the UK and probably like US and Europe and stuff, we are told we can do it or we can go to work, we can do the home, we can do all of that. But the thing is, like, even what was it? I spoke about this the other day. It's not very nice, but it's like, the adverts where they're like, you can go on a bike and wear a tampon. Like, I mean, that's the extreme of like saying to women, just get up and go. Like, God forbid your girl has a rest. Do you know what I mean? That is what we're given through society at the minute. And you can do this and you can do that. And you should be driven and work. And you should also be married. But by this age, by the way, you should be married and you should have kids and you could do all of that. And you think, hang on a minute, like strip it back. If I do look back and think, if I had built my business before babies, my business would be in a different place, a
Mm.
very different place. It would be, I would be earning a hell of a lot more money, put it that way. If we want to talk about the drivers,
Mm.
that would be bigger. There'd be more staff. There'd be a team. Like there'd be just more because I would have done it before kids. And I think that's what we see as well is sometimes we're looking at people who have done it that way round. They've built this business, then they've had kids.
Mm.
I didn't do it like that. I had my kids while juggling at everything. And then I built the more of a business as they grew. They're still only 9, 7, and 3. They're tiny. But anyway, I digress. But the point I'm saying is like we have social trends, social things, like what they call societal things. We have the cultural clashes, especially people like me who are in a mixed kind of cultural, relationship. We have all of those things to contend with. So that's pressure on being everything for everyone. And I just think like we as women, not me personally, but women of the past, they fought for us to work. And I just feel like, and I'm not completely overly educated on feminism because I'm not like a massive feminist, but I just feel like it goes too far sometimes, and there's like a place in the workplace now where women, people would be lost without the women. The women are needed to work, but the men didn't typically step up and jump into the household and jump into like giving birth to babies. I don't think that happened. So like, there's just this massive imbalance of men and women and what we do. And that's coming from the person that does all the washing, the cooking, the cleaning, the absolutely everything, every single meal. That is where I'm coming from with this. There's just such a massive gap. And so we put our pressures on ourselves because I've got, for example, external societal things that I see. Even when I was in my 9 to 5, it was like, you're so good at what you do. We'd be lost without you. And, you do this job better than anyone else. And, they make you feel like, you've got to go, go, go. And if I wanted to be home by 3 for the school run, it wasn't happening. It was like, it was a real problem. And then I got treated differently after having children in the workplace. And it was like, okay, cool. I had my second baby and I left. And, I had a business, thank God. But it's not nice for women in society that are trying to do both. Um, and I think also another thing on it is I grew up in a time where, like, my dad would say, for example, how the other half live. Have you ever heard people say, like, oh, how the other half live? Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah.
And I think these days, I'm, you know, I'm seeing more and more on social media, it bridges like the gap between when I was a kid seeing my dad say that, I used to think, God, how do they live? How
Mm.
do they live? Like, I think they must be, jetting around all the time. And I'd have this image of like people that had it all, people that were able to do loads of things, women, men, families, everything. And now I see it. Now I know how they live. Now I see luxury. Now I see women that have it all. Now I see famous people. Now I see influencers. Now I see people that do, like I said, they build a business because online helps them do that. And then they have their babies later and things aren't as traditional. And I see it. It's in front of me now. And social media gets me there and it sort of gives me that exposure that I never had before. So I wasn't comparing myself to that before. So the answer to your question, why we put all this pressure on ourselves, is because we are looking at it so much more in all aspects, like I said. But the pressure comes from the push and the pull of the tradition, the culture, the things that apparently society says is normal. That's where the pressure comes from because if you're an aspirational person like me, you are going to look at that on social media now because great, fantastic, we can bridge that gap and you're going to want it.
Yeah.
You are going to, who in their right mind wouldn't want it?
Mm. 100%. Oh, you've said so, honestly, I said it to you off. This could be a part one, part two, part three.
Sorry.
No, it's good. I mean that in the best way possible because I think you just touched on so much there as well. And I've thought that as well sometimes, going back to like even the adverts and just the
Mm.
subliminal messages that we're fed as women that we can have it all and that we should have it all and we should do it all. You know,
Yeah,
it's not even a can, it's a should. Like it's an expectation of, well, back on then.
yeah,
And you've just said so much there. Honestly, I just want to say this because I don't think we said this at the beginning. Zara has three beautiful, beautiful babies. And you don't know this. I don't think I've ever said this to you, but you do inspire me so, so much. And on the times when I am literally feeling like I'm drowning in the juggle, you are one of the people who I think of who thinks, do you know what? Zara, if I can reach out to you. I know I can reach out to you if I need to talk, if I need help. And I'm so, so grateful for that because my family and friends will tell you I don't ask for help. So even the fact that
yeah.
I feel like I can is huge. And I just truly value you and you do inspire me because I can imagine it's such a juggle, but you carry yourself with such grace and such class, and you're still providing so much value to your audience and your members and your followers on social media. And you are a really, really incredible mum. We've had mum dates together where we've got the kids together, and I've met your beautiful children, and Kingsley absolutely loves them, absolutely loves you, and you are wonderful.
Oh,
So you definitely are one of the people who I think, I'm aware that she probably has days where it
it's
feels a lot,
hard.
but you are definitely a true inspiration to me. So I just wanted to
Oh,
chuck that out there. But yeah, I think you touched on so much valuable stuff there. Um, and I do think as well, we're so aligned with like the things that we like outside of motherhood, like our mindset stuff, our things like that, like
mm,
motherhood and business. If we lived closer, I wish we did actually. I feel like we'd
I
have a good.
know.
But yeah, I think you touched on so much there, and I think that is one of the things with social media is you do see it and you do want it, and it's natural to want it. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, I love that you've said that as well. I think one of the things that I would add to that as well, because for me, I feel like this pressure of like a rush, something
oh, yeah.
when I'm in those times where I feel like I'm drowning in it all, when
Mm,
I sit back and think about it, it's normally because at the core I feel in a rush. I'm like, no, I need to get this done now because either because, oh, I've got to go and get dinner or I've got to take Kingsley here. It could be on a day thing, but also in like
mm,
a life thing sometimes where I'm like, oh no, this should be here now. So I need to
yeah,
get
yeah.
this done quick. And, something that I touched on with you before was I've started following people who again, like you said, I know that, it's really hard to find someone who's exactly in your shoes, but, women who are slightly older than me,
Mm,
5, 6 years older than me, who've got like older children, and then hearing them say, you've got time,
mm,
like stop rushing, because I feel like maybe with my algorithm or the things that I follow, I can get in this, I need to do it all quicker, and it should be here by now, and I should be there by now. Um, and something that Jovan said to me, I know I said it to you, was thinking of your life as like a download chart.
mm,
If I looked at something, downloading a video and it was 37% downloaded, I'd probably go make a cup of tea and think I had all the time in the world. But as a
mhm.
37-year-old woman, I'm like, no, I should have done this by now. I could have done that by now. And you like this feeling of like time and like trying to be quicker. Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's probably the only thing I would add to that. But yeah, I so appreciate everything that you said. And as well, I think there's your kids are so lucky to see you doing everything that you do.
That's what I think. I do always think, and if anyone has like been in my world long enough, they'll know as well. I bring it back to they're the reason, they're not the excuse, and they're not the burden. I don't want my babies to, and I do it all the time, by the way, like caveat again. I shout at my kids. I tell them, please leave me alone for 5 minutes. Let me finish this. And it's horrible. And it makes me emotional just talking about it because if like I've got this you can probably tell like I'm so direct and I have an authoritarian way because that's I come from a long line of that in women in my family, like my mum, her mum, XYZ, like I come from a really long line of it. So I am almost the one that's like breaking that mold and being the one that wants to parent my way, parent my kids in the way that, because I have access to all the mindset stuff and everything, I want to parent them in a way where I really do work on building decent, lovely, well balanced humans. That's what I'm trying to do. And I worry all the time that they're not, and that that's my fault because of the stress that I have on myself, and that sort of like goes back down to them. And I'm like, please leave me alone for 5 minutes. And it's horrible and I hate it. Um, And I just think that we have to remember that they're the reason sometimes that we do what we do. I write it down all the time in my gratitude journaling that they are the reason, and that I'm showing them that they can have any place in this world. They can do what they want. They can build businesses. I talk to them already about what business they're going to have. I'm like, what are you going to do? So I try to always bring it back to that so that we do. It's almost like giving yourself a little slap on the wrist, isn't it? Like telling yourself, stop that. We're in the right place and we're doing it for them. It doesn't matter that we're not where that person is. It doesn't matter that we're not by that time that apparently is there, like on a ticking time clock somewhere. So I do bring it back to that as well. So I'm glad that you've said that.
Yeah, no, and I love that you've said all of that as well, because I think, they are the reason, and again,
Mm,
it's that juggle of everything. And, I think that mum guilt, you feel guilty when you're not with your kids. And I feel guilty when I've not put what I know I need to be putting into the business. And it's just like a cycle of of
yeah,
between the two. And
it
then
is.
obviously Kingsley's 5, but like you, I'm trying to like instill, certain values and belief systems in.
Yeah,
He can do whatever he wants, and how important it is for him to find something he loves and pour that passion into it. And even now, I think, God, when he's older and he has a family and he has a wife and he has kids, I still want him to have something that's for him, and if
mm,
if that can also be a business that generate some income, great, like win-win. I want him to have, all of those things. But then sometimes I'm really lovely, humbled by the fact
yeah,
that he is just 5, when I try to have these meaningful,
yeah.
educational, deep conversations with him. And then I'll actually tell he is 5. Like the other day, he was like, Mummy, do you know what? He's so funny with the way he talks. Do you know what? It's a Friday. We should have a McDonald's. Why not? Why not, Mum? He said, why not? And I said, Kingsley, remember, we're saving for a holiday, aren't we? So we've got a holiday to pay for in a few weeks. So I'm trying to like teach him, we can't, sometimes we have to, focus on things. And he was like, oh, but I really want a McDonald's. And I was like, I hear you, mate. Sometimes you do really want things, but sometimes you have to put your money where you need your money to be. And, what would you prefer? A holiday or a McDonald's? Would you prefer a holiday in a couple of months' time for a week, or a McDonald's now that's going to be half an hour of McDonald's? And
Yeah.
he went quiet, and then he went, a McDonald's on holiday.
Did he? See, that boy wants it all, and he knows he can because he's got you and Jovan. And yeah, he's great. He is great, and I love him so much. And do you know what? It's funny that you said as obviously that I inspire you because every time I think, and it sounds like I'm terrible, but when I do shout at the kids, you're one of the people I think of. Like, just remember, like, if Shan was sitting there, you wouldn't shout at the kids, like, because she's so gentle.
I don't think that.
Like not in a way like I know you would never judge me. You have seen me raise my voice at my kids when we've been on play dates, but I do. You really inspire me that you could like that you guys have that with Kings where you do try that kind of like really nicely gentle parenting most of the time, and I just love it. And I think I don't know, as women, I think it's nice to take that kind of like take a different approach. I think we were saying at the beginning, weren't we, that it's good to take a couple of approaches with our kids and yeah, I just wanted to tell you that I do think of you as well in that way when I'm dealing with the children. But also I like to have those conversations. We're saving for the house at the minute. There's a big build going on, and every time the kids want a takeaway, I'm like, you're so lucky that your mummy cooks you fresh food every day. Like you don't understand how lucky you are. But secondly, we're saving for a house to be built for you. So you can have a nice bedroom and you can have this. And they're like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then I bought myself something the other day. I can't even remember what it was now. I think it was like, I can't even remember. It might have been the new mic because I was starting season 2 of the pod and actually the mic had gone. I was like, oh, sugar. And Issa said, my middle child, the one that tests me as a parent the most and teaches me the most, love him. He said, Mum, what are you doing? Aren't we saving for the build? And I was like, sorry. Anyway, he just said, you're not allowed to buy yourself things. So it's so funny how it rubs off on them. They speak to us like adults, don't they?
At
So
least it's going in as well.
I
Honestly,
know.
they're amazing. Honestly, your little ones.
Yeah.
We are both really lucky. I think when they were all together as well, like it just warmed my heart. They really got on so well.
I
Um,
know.
but just to caveat that as well, just so you know,
Yeah.
because I said this to Jovan the other day, he was like, "You're just so patient and da da da," and I was like, "I
Yeah.
silent scream in the kitchen at least once a week." So
Yeah.
just remember that as well next time you think,
I think,
like
I
take
think,
yourself to
yeah.
dinner, and I'm like,
I need to learn sometimes. I mean, I'm so much better than the women that came before me. Like my mum won't even mind me saying that. You know, she raised three children on her own, three girls, and obviously that was hormonal. Um, so I feel for my mother so much, but she did a great job anyway. But I'm so much not better. I don't think it's better. I just think I'm more informed and I'm more able to like think about things before I do them. She was, you know, it was different. So I am more patient, let's just say, but I do need to sort of, what's the word? Just execute the whole the what you know, like the plans we put in place and we know what to do. It's like, you know, when you tell someone, well, you've got that strategy, you know that works, but it's like finding amongst the madness, like the time to like pick up that tool and use it and be like, I know I need 5 minutes. I'm going to go and scream in the kitchen. That's what I need to remember because at the moment where it's so heightened, where we've moved out of the house and we're in temporary accommodation, it's crazy at the minute. And yeah, I'm loving the snippets from you. I'm going to write notes.
silent scream in the kitchen. Joe Mum was cracking up. He was like, "Do you?" I was like, "Yeah, but you would never know because he's in the office working." And then
Yeah.
because, but you know, we're human. And I was even saying to my mum the other day, like, just the fact that we have hormonal monthly cycles while we're trying to parent, I think is a little bit unfair because
It is.
I know that on those days when I'm feeling hormonal, you know, and pre-mum Shan would go and buy a bunch of snacks and sit and binge watch some stuff on Netflix and just lie there. You don't have that luxury when you're a mum, but I'm
No.
aware that I feel a lot more tense, and I'm aware that it's taking more in me to sort of juggle everything. So yeah, there's definitely times in the month that I find it so much harder. But yeah, this is why I wanted this conversation with
Yeah.
you. I think it's good to just have these honest convos. Um, so what are your key tools that help you juggle it all?
I'd say, I mean, there's a lot, but I think when it comes to the parenting and the business, looking at it like that, it is for me, I time block everything.
Mm,
So I know I've told you this before. I am a sucker for a planner, you know, pen to paper. I've got at the moment, I think I'm using the productivity method, which I think is very good. I used to really love the one, well, used to, I had it like a month or two ago, the 1% diary from Stephen Bartlett. I love that one as well. Really good for business women that are juggling a few things. So planners and time blocking are really important to me. And what I do is I'll look at the week. So on a Sunday, I tend to like sit down. I've got a couple of weekly planners. One of them goes on the fridge because it's all the meals for the kids and for me and for my husband. And then it's the other one is kind of like what day is what. It might be that like a Wednesday. For me, it's a business day because all of my kids are out of my hair. Love them. They're at school and nursery. Tuesday's the same, but Thursdays are different. You know, it has like the day on it, you know, and I look at it. And the reason I do it it sounds a bit pedantic, but I like to do it for the week and then the days in my planner because I can look at the week at a glance and decide, am I going to take on any more commitments this week?
yeah,
If somebody asks me to do something, can I really? Because it's not a case of just looking at the day. It's the case of, well, what did I do the day before? And am I going to be drained? Or what am I doing in the next morning? Am I up for a run in the morning? If so, I don't want to be out in the evening with a friend. Although I love them, I just don't want to that week. And so that's one of the things is time blocking everything. And then obviously I do that weekly and daily. Um, the other thing for the business, I think I told you this on the live that we did, was Trello boards.
mm,
So I don't have a to-do list. On the day, I kind of like tick off tasks, but I do tend to have projects that are ongoing and I break them into tasks. So Trello boards for that, if you want something like digital, is really good. You can use it on your phone or your PC or laptop. So it's super easy to like swipe through the project boards and underneath them they have their tasks and things and then they go into the diary. It's not so it doesn't feel as overwhelming. So that's another tool that I use. And then me and my husband have a shared calendar. So, for example, last night when I was recording in the evening, well, now we're in temporary accommodation. I actually have to get them all out the house. I used to be able to go into my office and record with anyone, whereas now I'm like, baby, you're the babysitter. Slash, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but you know, you've got to take the kids away because I can't have the noise. I'm recording a pod. So there's like that time tree app on our phones where I will put it in, Zara recording, Icky take the kids, like, and I just put it in on the diary. He gets the notifications then straight away. Um, and my recent favorite, I think I did tell you this, but I can't remember. You know the reminders app on the iPhone? So I use the reminders app and I create my lists. And so, for example, I'll have like my optimal day for the business, for example, or for personal. I've got it all. I'm just terrible. I'm like such an organizer. And say, for example, it's got 5 tasks on it. I will set the reminders list to show me the completed ones as well. You can do that in the settings. So every day I can just go in and tick and then clear it because it always shows the completed anyway. So I can see it like a tick list. And what I do is I use the widgets and put it on my home screen. My phone doesn't look like a phone. It looks like a business tool. It literally, like you open my phone on my iPad and you don't see apps, you see lists, you see product lists, you see reminders. Someone would look at it and be like, "Where are your apps?" I'm like, "Listen, they're buried. They don't need to be there." Um, so yeah, those are the tools I would say. I don't think I've forgotten anything massively. And of course, like when it comes to the kids, I'm lucky because if I need my mum to sit the kids for an evening for me to have some me time, or if I need her to do it so that I can work, I can do that. I do have my mum available in the town that we live. Some people don't. Some people's parents live far away. Some people don't have their parents anymore. My husband still has his parents. We actually live right next door to them when we're in our actual home. So we are lucky in that sense that if I need them, and I don't take the mick out of it, just if, I really don't. But if I do need them, then they're there. And I think that's a massive thing to have. And it's so lucky as well because I know people that don't have that available. So,
Mm. Yeah, no, there's so much advice there, honestly. I think even just that last point of, because I wouldn't say I have, without divulging all my life on the internet.
mm,
I know Jovan's family are very, very, they're not like really far from us, 45 minutes, and they're fab, absolutely fab.
yeah,
But I personally don't have a huge village, put it that way. Um,
yeah,
but I think just even what you said there of asking, back to what I was saying before about never asking for help. Like I always say,
yeah,
independence is my biggest flex and my biggest weakness. I'm definitely getting better at asking for help. So I even love that you've highlighted that, just asking for help with,
mm,
even if it's like a friend or, if you've not got,
yeah,
the grandparents or your parents or, just asking for that help, I think is huge. And all of that
yeah,
you've said there is also huge as well. I love that you said, and I love that you said about burying the apps. So I've not buried the apps, but I might actually do that now after this. But when I got my upgrade one time, I kept all my apps on my old phone, and then my phone is just literally a phone. It's got all the student WhatsApp groups on it and like the membership groups on it. So all like
mm,
members and people that might need me right now, but all my apps, and I literally have to distance myself from it. Otherwise, it's too easy for me to be like, oh, I'll just quickly.
mm.
Then you're lost on it. And I love that tip of burying it so it's not at the forefront of your mind.
Yeah, I do that. And I think the other one that I use actually, which I think I probably did tell you about, is the focus on the iPhone. I don't know if Android do it, but on the iPhone, you can change the focus. So, for example, mine, whilst we're recording now, so that my watch doesn't ping and my phone doesn't ping, is the work mode, which isn't a standard. You have to make it yourself, but you put it on that focus and you decide who can get through to you. So if it calls me at the minute, it will come through. But if somebody else did, it wouldn't come through. No notifications are going to come through unless it's an emergency contact. So that's another tool because, like you, it's kind of the way I distance myself from the phone and the notifications and the pings because I will not be as productive if my brain is constantly pinging with, oh, let me just, I don't know what it is. Even if it's near me, sometimes I just tap the screen and I'm
Oh,
like, oh, nothing on there then, or there's, and if it's on the work mode, there's no notifications on the screen. So even if they're there, they're in the background, I don't see them. Whereas if I tap it and it's not on that focus, you better believe there's going to be a few notifications and I'm going to have a quick look.
yeah,
So that's another tool, really. It's like you've got to be able to be disciplined with certain things like that, like little things to get on with things. Otherwise, we've all got the same day. We've got 24 hours to get shit done. Excuse
yeah,
my French. You
no.
know, so if you don't, you're only going to kick yourself if you start getting distracted. Distractions are the worst thing, really.
100%. And I think as well, I'm sure you probably can relate. I said to Jovan, the amount of times that I'm like, okay, I'm going to post a reel.
Yeah.
And then I'll come up here and then maybe, like you say, I've got distracted instantly, even by just putting my
Hmm.
laptop on. So now I've got my phone and my laptop, and then I've got my personal phone. So I have to like move that away when I'm working. Otherwise, I'll get personal notifications coming through. So, oh yeah, I need to message that friend back. Oh yeah, okay. My mum,
Hmm.
let me just check that my mum's okay or whatever. That's distracting me. Or now I've gone up here, put the laptop on, clicked on my emails. Now I've got an email that needs to respond to, or I'm writing back to somebody else. And half an hour's gone past, and I'm like, what did I come up here for? To post
Yeah.
a reel. Why am I not posting a reel? Like, I've messaged everyone back. I've checked my emails. Like, this
Yeah.
is not helpful. So you've given so much value there. So, so helpful.
Good.
Um, what mindset shifts or tools help you juggle it all?
I struggle with my mindset probably more than most people would think. I have, and like you touched on the cycle earlier, I have really good weeks, really good. And I think anyone listening who is a woman needs to write down when they notice their patterns in their cycles. I did it probably 2021, 22. One of the coaches I was working with decided to teach us all about the feminine cycle and the moon cycle. And I was like, what is this? And that's when I started thinking about it. So when you touched on it, actually, it reminded me of that. Um, and I know when my good weeks are. I
Mm.
know when they're coming and I know when the bad weeks are coming. And when I say bad, I mean they could be awful if I wasn't aware of my mind, like of all of this work. I call it like the inner work. If I wasn't as aware, I would really struggle and nothing would get done. But when I know a bad week is coming up now, I can prepare for it. I can catch myself. I can change my state really quickly. So, what I do is the shift, in answer to your question, is always gratitude journaling. I've said this before, I'll say it again. The best way to change your state, your mindset state, is to change your physical, but first journaling and be grateful. So what I'll do is I'll write down what I'm grateful for in a journaling way. So like sometimes it might be that I ask myself a question to get myself going, like what is going on? How do I feel? What do I want to do today? And then I'll transition myself from feeling that way to feeling how I want to feel based on the fact that I'm like, I'm grateful for X, Y, and Z. I've got this going on. I've got that. I've got so much to be grateful for because I'm so blessed in so many ways. And then I'll move and I'll change my physical state. So it's like, I think the gratefulness comes first, in my opinion. I think it does because unless you are aware and you're grateful, you may not get to the point of going, I need to change my physical state. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope it does. Um, that's what I do. And I just think, I read a lot of books, a lot of books. I know we were both reading Let Them, weren't we, by Mel Robbins. Did you finish?
I've not finished it yet, no.
Same. I haven't either yet because I started reading The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, and that's all about gratitude, actually. And yeah, anyway, the books I read, they tend to. I read books on mindset. I read books on personal development, and I've done that for many, many, many years. So, if I was just starting out with trying to sort out my mindset, I'd start there. I'd start reading some books. Yeah,
Defo. Love, this is where we like, and probably where we initially kind of like was
I
like,
think
oh,
so.
we can really, really click on like
Yeah.
the personal development side of things. And yeah, I love everything you've said there. And yeah, gratitude is truly key. I love that you've said that. I often think back of a podcast that I did with Alex Fox, the founder of Scratch magazine.
Mm.
And uh when she said it on the pod, actually made me emotional. And I was thinking, don't cry in front of Alex Fox.
Oh,
But she was saying that when she was younger and her kids were younger, and she remembers having not much time and literally being able to like carve out 20 minutes. And luckily, her neighbor was like a Pilates instructor, so she'd run over there and do some Pilates. And she like just really was like juggling time and trying to go scratch and all of this. And she was like, you will get your time back, and then you'll
mm.
miss the busyness.
Yeah. Do you know what?
And I think, oh, and I think about that all the time. Times when I'm like, oh my God, I need to do dinner and I've not done this, and then
Mm.
and oh my gosh, I didn't message that person back, and blah 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 blah, and my brain's like spinning. And then I think, do you know what? One day, hopefully,
Hmm.
retired, chilling out, Kingsley, or and there might be other kids grown up and they might have kids, and I'll be like, oh, I wish there was rainbow in my living room, and I wish there was like toys everywhere and noise everywhere, and I wish I was like getting woken up in the morning.
Yeah, I
And
was super emotional when, oh, what was that noise?
I,
Sorry.
no, don't worry,
I
I think it was me. I think it's someone downstairs. The noise, there, how perfect on cue. I wish there was the noise downstairs from my
I wish there was more noise. Yeah, I get really emotional when I think about things like that. And there is always something to be grateful for. I think the minute you start thinking stress or agginess and you start complaining, I was on a call with a client the other week and she was doing something and I was coaching her through a new thing. And I started complaining about something because she asked me a question and so we're close and I was like open and I said something and I caught myself straight away and I said, I'm grateful. And you know what? In that split second, and it was all about like the family stuff and I went, I'm so grateful. And then that split second, I forgot what I was complaining about because I tried to continue the conversation and I said to her, where were we? I was like, I have no idea what we're doing. And she was like, see that? She was like, that's mad. I said, I know. I said, it's because I've just literally practiced some gratitude. It's really weird how quickly it changes your brain. But no, I get really emotional with that. I think I will want the kids. And that's the first thing I think, when they're annoying me or like they're being a bit aggressive with each other. And when I say things like annoying me, it's okay, by the way, if anyone's listening, like your kids can annoy you sometimes. I've got three of them and it is, but I'm also so grateful because I know that there are people that haven't got any children and they would love them, and they deserve them and things like that. And I think that is why, I just think I get so emotional because I think I want to hold on.
yeah. You want to
Yeah.
like
I feel
capture it.
like
And yeah, I know we're both going to end up blubbing
my eyes
in.
are welling. I could cry right now. In fact, I just stopped myself from crying. I want to hold on to their little hands.
Yeah, yeah, defo. Because
Yeah.
it's so fleeting, and it's like King said to me the other day, like, I want to live with you forever. And I thought,
Oh,
oh, I would love that too, but I know you're going to get to 15, 16, and I'm going to tell you can't go to that party, and you're going to want to live anywhere else but home. So at the moment, I'm
and you're
going to just
gonna
soak
hate
up
me.
that you want to be here forever. Yeah. Um,
Oh God.
what advice would you have for someone who is having a tough period right now, juggling it all? And maybe that's not, well, maybe they're not in motherhood yet. Maybe they're just
Mm,
struggling with juggling life, a business, because even that is a lot.
it is a lot. It is. I think, there's always a season of struggle. There's always going to be a time when you feel like it's hard, or sometimes it might be your rock bottom. And if it's your rock bottom, it'll probably give you some sort of whiplash into changing something. It might be a sign. If it is a really hard time right now for anyone listening, and it is what feels like rock bottom, it's probably a massive sign that something's got to change. It could be a relationship, it could be the work life, it could be anything, family, friend, I don't know, anything, health. But it's probably like a kick start to change. Change has to happen. But I do think as well that it's key to remember these things do pass. You're always typically in the right place at the right time. And although it feels really hard to swallow that pill, like, oh, this is it, why? Why though? Why is this happening to me? Um, it will pass. It generally is going to pass, and you'll look back and you'll think, oh, okay, it wasn't probably as bad as I thought, and all the time as well, a lot of the time, we get in our own heads and we think the worst. And it could be that something feels really hard because we're overthinking it, because we're scared, because we are feeling like we're going to be judged, or and we can almost preempt things and think the worst is going to happen, and then it also doesn't. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like looking inwards. I think when you're feeling like you're really struggling, if it's such a hard time, look inwards, figure it out a bit more, go a bit deeper. B, the time will pass and you might need to change something. And C, on top of that, ask for help. Like we said earlier, please, like if you're really struggling and you're in a crap place, No one wants you to stay there. Ask for help. Speak to a friend, speak to somebody online, speak to your mum, speak to your family. If you've not got your family, speak to somebody else. Say hello to a stranger. Do something and speak to someone. I think it's the best way. You know, like they say, don't they? A problem shared is a problem halved, that type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Honestly, that's such wonderful advice. And I think, you know, like you said, it's really easy when you're in that moment for it to feel all consuming.
Mm,
Mm, One, and I know this isn't like going to work for every situation all the time, and sometimes things are really, really bad, and it takes a while to sort of like get out of it. And but on the days
mm,
where sometimes it just feels a little bit much, and maybe I'm a little bit emotional, and it all feels like a little bit too much as I use the quote, "What's meant for me won't pass me by."
mm.
So flip that on its head of like, whatever's meant for me, whatever's sent for me, it's sent to me for a reason because I can handle it. I can handle it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's here
Yeah.
because I can handle this. And there was another thing that I read the other day, and he was like, I'm going to totally butcher this, but it was something like, you've got through all your bad moments to this point, so you've literally got 100% success rate.
Oh,
But you can get
yeah.
through it. If you're still here right now and you're going through a bad time, I guarantee that life hasn't been peachy and an absolute cream puff until you're however old you are now. And you got through that, you've literally got 100% success rate. So if you in any other realm, if you could run 100 meters in 30 seconds every single time, 100% success rate, you'd never doubt that you couldn't.
Mm.
So don't doubt that you won't get through this because you've got through everything until this point.
That is good. Who
I
said that? That
I
is
don't
good.
know. It was some guy on Instagram, and I thought, yes, get a
Yes.
like, and you get a like.
You're gonna like
I
it.
mean,
You can
comment
have
on
a
that.
follow.
Yeah, literally, come on the podcast. But I thought, yeah,
Oh,
it's so true. Like just having those little things in your mind, I think when you're going through stuff can maybe help.
yeah.
Um,
And it is hard.
yes, 100%. You kindly had me on a live with you the other day, and we spoke about protecting your energy on and offline. So, what does protecting your energy mean and look like to you? Because I loved your concept on this.
Yes. Energy to me is the most important thing.
Mm.
So by energy, what I mean is what you're giving out, like the vibe that you're holding, that you're carrying, and that you are actually expelling into the world. It comes out of you, it's oozing out of you all the time. So you will know if you're feeling energetic or drained or happy or sad or positive or negative, optimistic, pessimistic. Do you know what I mean? So with energy, it's so important to protect because you get what you put out, you get what you're giving. And we don't attract what we think, we attract what we do, we attract what we're being. It's not like there's this sort of myth that goes around that if you think about it, you'll get it. Like if you think about it, you but it's not the case because if that thought comes from a needy place, all you're going to get is I need it still. You're going to get the need. The energy is from need. It's not from I'm having it. I've got it. I've got this. And it's even when I speak these words, my body changes. When I go, oh, I need it. The feeling, the vibration in me is so different to when I say, I've got it. I've actually got it. It's coming my way. Can you see my face? Like I smile. I know people listening can't see my face, but it gives me tingles and I smile. And that's what I mean by energy. And it's so important to protect because obviously you want what you want and you want to receive good energy. I remember the other day I said to my husband, I said, I must have been in bad energy today. He said, why? I said, because every 5 minutes on the road there was an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
and even I was at temporary traffic lights and I was a bit, must have been a bit pent up about something. And the guy behind me beeped me and said to me, the light's green. And he started shouting. I thought, who are you? And I shouted back. And I would never shout back normally, but I was like, have you got eyes? Have you got eyes? Because there was a big truck coming. So I was like, I can't go, you silly boy. And that's the thing. I said to my husband, I was in bad energy because I was putting that, I was getting it back, I was receiving this. I said that was awful. But it was my energy. Anyway, I digress. But that's what I mean. And I think the way I protect mine is like I've said in this episode, I tend to be very mindset aware. So that takes practice, obviously. You have to be like really internally switched on, not clued up, but switched on. You need to be listening to the internal dialogue that goes on in your brain. And so I will be aware And B, I'll try to catch myself as soon as my energy dips. And I'll notice the most important thing you can do is notice when it dips and why it's dipped. So, say, for example, I'm in a room of 5 people and those 5 people are lighting me up. I'm like, this is a good space. And I'm going to remember the type of person it was. Were they mums? Were we getting on this vibe? Was it a business owner? Was it the beauty industry? Probably wouldn't get the same vibe from, I don't know, the engineering world. I just wouldn't vibe. But like people light you up in different places. And so remembering that. And if people bring you down, like I've been in rooms and I'm like, I've got to leave. I've got an emergency. I've got to go. And it's even sometimes it's family. And I know that sounds bad, but they're a family that you don't always enjoy spending time with.
Yeah.
And so if they're draining your energy, it's a case of removing yourself from that situation. So for me, I always do that. I think I'm gonna remove myself to protect my energy. And so yeah, it looks like that. It looks like putting myself first instead of pleasing the other person. It looks like boundaries. It looks like saying no. Like I said earlier, when I look at the week and I think my energy needs to be protected. So
Yeah.
let's look at the week. If somebody asks me to do something, where's my energy going to be really? I can tell because I know about my energy. I know what drains it and I know what lifts it up. And I'm one of those like I come across like an extrovert because I'm quite direct and I can speak quite clearly in front of people. I'm not socially awkward, but I will be drained afterwards. And people say that means I'm a bit of an introvert because, it doesn't always fill me up so much. It can drain me sometimes being so,
Yeah.
what's the word, sociable maybe. Um, so yeah, you surround yourself with the people that lift you up, I guess, and remove yourself from the ones that bring you down. And that goes for in person and online because these days, we were talking about that chat online, weren't we? And we were saying you can always block and delete, you can always remove, you can always mute, you can always just there are so many people actually that I might follow, but I don't see their posts because I mute them.
Yeah.
And that might and it's not, let me just say, it's also not personal.
Mm-mm.
You've got to remove yourself from that. If anyone listening and thinks, yeah, but I couldn't do that, that's a bit personal if I stop liking their posts or if I stop, showing up for them. It's actually not because if, for example, there is someone in my world who they are lovely, they're great on social media, but their posts are making me feel like what we've said before. Oh, I'm not a good mum then because they're so much better than me. Like I love that for them, but I don't love it for me. Like I don't love that for me. So it might be that you have to mute someone that you do still want to follow you, and it's just for a different season of your life.
Yeah.
That's protecting your energy because you still like that person, but you're protecting yourself because you know that you're going to get envious or you're going to get a little bit drained or anything else. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. 100%. Yes, just amen to everything you said. I
Yes.
have nothing to add. Yes. I feel like absolutely. That's definitely
Yeah.
something again, another huge conversation I tried to have with a 5-year-old the other day. Because I was just saying to him, like, I want you to always talk to me, like, and
Mm,
want you to always, yes, you're not always going to feel comfortable in life, but talking even in terms of friends, you know your kids, you can see when they're flourishing in an environment or when maybe they start to dull their shine to either fit in or because they're feeling a bit overwhelmed, in a certain situation. And I was like, it's so important to be mindful of how you feel and
mm,
yourself in spaces that make you feel good and with
mm,
make you feel good. And the good thing about that is you have the power to do that.
mm.
Love that you've said that. Yes, yes, yes. I need that is definitely soundbite material. 100%. Love that. Um, Hindsight is a beautiful thing. What 3 things would you say to pre-business slash mum Zara to help her on her journey?
This is this gives me tingles when I think about pre-business and pre-babies because pre all of that I was in sales just like I don't know, I was just in sales just chasing money really. I think I never knew how life was going to pan out. I had dreams. And I think I was probably already like married, religiously married. I'd already converted to Islam. So I'd already like done loads of massive things, pre-business and pre-babies. But I always felt different. I always felt really different. And it was always like, I don't know, I was really horrifically bullied in school. typical story, but it's true. It was bad. And I always felt like I had to prove people wrong. Do you know what I mean? Or prove myself right, at least. And so I would try my hardest to be, I don't know, more courageous at times, I suppose, and do things that other people might not. So I think I would just say to her, like being yourself is okay. Like it's okay. Just be you because that's okay and it's enough and you can take up that space. You don't have to shrink, but you also don't have to pretend to be bigger than you are.
Yeah.
You hear it all the time when people say, you don't keep shrinking. But I think I was trying to like be bigger than I felt because, but it was a bit of a show. It was not a show, I suppose. What is it called? Like a front, I suppose like a show. Yeah, I think I would say that. And just that, parenting is going to be hard. So prioritize some sleep, girl. Prioritize your sleep. Yeah, that is what I would say. And it's, the obvious, that you're going to get there, you're going to smash it, you're going to love life, you're going to meet some incredible people. If you ask for help, if you put yourself out there, all of those things. Did you ask me for three things? That's three things, I think. So yeah, don't, you can be yourself, don't shrink, but also just be yourself. Don't try to be too big. That's the first thing. And then yeah, ask for help and you'll love life. And yeah and get sleep.
Yes, sleep. I definitely need that one. Get a sleep. Sleep.
Get
We
sleep.
spoke about that on the live, didn't we? Like for me, that is at the moment like key self-care. It's not
Yeah,
spa. It's not a 2-week holiday. It's not any of that. It's literally a lush bath and a good old sleep is like
love
top
it.
tier self-care for me. But yeah, I love that you've said that. So, so good. I think I'm just trying to think as well, like what I would say. I'd say it's gonna it's going to change you for the better because I think my
Mm,
priority, I was so much better at prioritizing myself when I became mum.
mm.
And then I'd probably nick that lovely guy's thing off Insta now and say,
Yeah,
in tough times, you've got 100% success rate, babe. Like it's gonna be tough. Like you love your sleep now. Ha.
yeah, yeah.
That's gonna go, sweet stuff. So suck that up, buttercup, but you're gonna be fine. And you've got 100% success rate to this point and you'll be fine. Like lean into it, take those days where you need to rest, and yeah, business will come back. But just yeah,
Mm.
all of what you said was so, so good. And just be kind to
Oh,
yourself
yeah.
probably as well. I know that's so cliche, but definitely those early days I wasn't I was definitely like on that hamster wheel of like, oh, I haven't done this today. I need to do this. And
Mm.
now I need to do this. And someone told me that if I give my baby avocado just before he goes to bed, maybe he'll sleep for 4 hours. So I need to buy an avocado.
Does that work? Let me know.
No,
Like,
no, it doesn't. Just FYI, guys, don't. Someone
oh,
said to me, really high fatty food,
yeah.
obviously for 6 months, give it to them half an hour before they go to bed. They're going to sleep all the way through. And I was like a year into him waking up every 2, 3 hours every night, all night.
Mm.
That was definitely Kingsley's sleep routine. And I said to Jovan, I was like, don't you worry, because tonight we're going to sleep all the way through because I've been told that nice fatty food half an hour for bed, we're going to get like at that point, I was like, I'll take 4 hours, I'll take 5 hours. Like, I'm not even looking for
Mm.
night. I'm just looking for go down at 8, don't wake up till 1. That would be great. Yeah, it didn't work. He woke up 2 hours later. It didn't work.
No, I mean, that's such a shame. I feel you on that. I remember those days, like the sleepless nights. When me and my husband talk about having a fourth, we're like, do we really want sleepless nights again? Because we don't have to be woken up in the night anymore. The youngest is coming up 3 this month, literally. And you just think, would we be mad? We'd be mad to do that to ourselves again. But also, well done if you are prioritizing your sleep now, because so many people in your position, our position type thing, they're not. They're just not. They think that it's more productive. And I was there where I used to think it's more productive to work at night.
I've definitely.
Actually, it's not. If you're not up in the night, this is my advice to anyone. If you're not up in the night with your kid, I don't like saying that, with your children, or your baby. But if you're not up in the night with a child, then go to bed at a decent hour
Yeah.
and get up earlier than the baby or the child and get some productivity in the morning. Your brain's way more switched on. And I've been there and I've done it both ways. And I can tell you that that is the better way of doing it for the majority of human beings.
100%. When I was writing the courses, fell into that trap again of like,
Oh, I
hey, I'll write
know.
till midnight. I'll write, and then I was like, no, this isn't good because I wake up groggy. Then I've already got on like, in my mum world, I feel like I'm on a bag foot already because I've already got a bit of
Yes.
saggy ags because I'm tired. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. And I know what you mean. But that sums up motherhood, doesn't it? Because
Oh,
you
yeah.
know how hard the sleep, once you've had one, you know how hard the sleep is, but you'd still do it all over again in a heartbeat. Like, absolutely.
I
So
know.
that
I
sums it
know.
up. That's literally the perfect way to end it, that we
I
know
know.
that, yes, you have them tough times, but that's how beautiful and lovely it is for anybody listening who maybe doesn't have children, and you've got to the end of this, that the love that you create and you give birth to, and all of the positives that it brings to your family, and the juggle of business and all of that hecticness,
Yeah.
it's so worth it because you would do it again. So, well, we
Yeah.
have again. So,
Absolutely. You've nailed it.
perfect. What is your last word, quote, or thought that you would love to leave with our fellow entrepreneurs?
So I would normally give you one. I think we've done quite a few really good quotes today, but I've got a little book on my desk, and it's one that my sister gave me, and I just keep it on my desk because every day I flick through. It's got loads of quotes in it. She knows me.
Oh,
You know me well enough. I'm a quote person.
yeah.
It's the little book called She Believed She Could, So She Did. It's that one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to let you know what it comes up with because I think it'll probably come up with something relevant. Let's hope it does.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
see. If it doesn't, we'll edit it out.
Yeah, we'll do it
I'm
again.
joking. We won't, guys. I promise this is genuine, whoever's listening. You ready?
Yeah.
You say stop. I'm gonna go, but be quick, obviously, because it's only a small book. Look.
Okay.
You
Okay.
ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3.
Stop.
Right. Okay, it says, I'm serious. It says, there is always a realistic way to fulfill any dream. There has never been a dream that you can't have.
Oh my God, how perfect is that?
Isn't it perfect? See? I love this little
Okay,
book.
there
There
we
we go. I'll
are.
leave you with that, guys.
Perfect. I love that so much. Thank you for coming on here with me. Thank you for being you. And just thank you. I love you. Everyone needs to go and follow Zara. I'm going to put all of her links down below in the show notes. There was something you wanted to share with us as well.
Yes, how could I forget? Oh my goodness. So, thank you, by the way, for having me. Love you too. Absolutely love you. This month, so I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm doing a massive giveaway. I say massive, it's like 4 months of free mentorship inside the membership. So they get absolutely everything. One winner, they can have absolutely everything inside the membership, which is all of my methodology, by the way, that I teach all of my one-to-one clients. My one-to-one clients are the people that quit the day job, they double their income, they do all of that in this industry, and they go full throttle beauty and they smash it. So all of that is in the membership, plus a call with me every month, plus the challenges every month in the community. And I'm giving somebody a space for 4 months for free, so they can enter that giveaway. I'll give you the link if you like for the show
Yeah,
notes, but
please.
it is on the link in my bio on Instagram. All they need to do is enter a quick survey, fill it in, and then it will be drawn on. So the entries will close on the 17th. Yeah, 17th of July, 11:59 p.m. And then I'm going to announce the next day on the Friday, the 18th of July.
Amazing. Thank
That's
you
it.
so much. Right, guys.
Thank you.
Links are in the show notes. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.